Alright guys, my apologies. Bit of a different setting here for all of my neural monitoring V2K people that are going to pop on here. This is an important one. Very, very important. So when you get into the later stages of your targeting, and for me, my walk to death, as Robert Duncan so eloquently put it, which is, again, a slow infusion of electromagnetic directed energy into the body in different various spots, in correlation and coordination with the V2K ChatterBot, continuously getting you to talk to yourself, so that way you have a presentation. No matter what phase you're in, you're still going to have a presentation to people around you of, he's talking to himself. Why is he talking to himself? What's he saying? Why is he saying this? What's this? What's that? Always going to be questioning in their head, why is this guy talking? See, this guy's talking to himself. No matter what, you're going to have people that know you, don't know you, and they're still going to go, what is he saying? What's going on? That's odd. That seems out of character. What's he saying? This guy said that? So be careful. Please, dear God, be careful. I cannot stress it enough. Be careful with what the ChatterBot, and pay attention to what the ChatterBot is getting you to talk to yourself about, and the environment that you are in when it's getting you to say that. Because there could be a misconception and a misconstruement of, you say something that may be seemingly, whoa, hold on, what? Did you hear that? And then you get one or two people with the, did you hear that? And then it's like, oh, well, whoa, what's going on? 0.010001% of people on this planet know about RNM, know about V2K, know about nanobots, know about the system. Even though there's books about it, I didn't know about it until I was targeted with it. So overtly, the ChatterBot started in and around 2016, as many of you know if you watch my videos. Woke up, was laying in bed one day, and it was like, what the fuck is that? I kept hearing this, speech that didn't go with anything. It wasn't my brain speak, it wasn't the TV, and I let it go for a little bit, and then I tapped my girlfriend. I was like, do you hear that? And she's like, no, what am I supposed to hear? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just random shit. And you don't know about V2K, you don't know about the ChatBot, you don't know about none of this remote neural monitoring stuff, you don't know about none of that. I didn't know about all the mathematics I had to teach myself, about infinitesimal calculus. I didn't know about dynamical systems I had to teach myself, and all of that, so I could reverse engineer and do a quasi-systems reversal. So I reverse engineered the system and a lot of its functionality into my own enumerated mathematics. I haven't even really gotten deep into that yet with my videos, because it's going to preclude a lot of people. Once I start doing that type of stuff, people aren't hip to the idea of looking at me write down equations and stuff like that shows how the system actually functions on a daily basis when it's doing its differentiated functionalities. So, but be careful. Again, back to my main topic here is be careful, because the system will get you to say crazy shit around people that are susceptible to being like, whoa, because it knows what will eventually mess your system up there. It'll get you to say crazy things, and then you'll seem like, and then even if people have known you for 5 years, 10 years, they'll still go, initially they'll go, wow, that seems odd, that's weird. But then when there's enough people, I've learned this throughout my life with being targeted, is that if there's just you and there's enough people around somebody else, they'll get them to go to the other side real quick when they go, oh, but come on, man, and then everybody all of a sudden will hate you. So just be aware, please. When you're in a public environment, the chatbot's going to have you saying crazy things, doing crazy things, acting crazy. It can emotionally manipulate you. Remember, it can lean you towards anger, towards happiness. Brian Coffrin eloquently put this in his podcast that are thankfully still on the internet. So just be careful, please, because I've been here for 5 years, and I can't imagine how many times this stupid chatbot during the day, has me talking to myself. I talk to myself in my house all day. All it does is inspire a conversation, goes and hits you. How it works is much. So this is real quick, first person. So it has all of this recorded, all of the days you've been here, everything you've ever done is here. And it's here inside of your head. So you walk around, and all it's going to do is hit you with little just quips like, oh, remember the thing? So if you're in this parking lot, it remembers all the things that have happened in this parking lot. So it's going to go, oh, do you remember that time over there when the thing happened? And if that doesn't get your attention, how it works is first it goes into the subconscious level, kind of. Then it goes overtly so you hear it. And then it'll say it one more time overtly. If you don't take notice of it or react to it on the third time, it's going to flip to the next page and go, oh, but do you remember that thing? And it's going to turn to something different until boom, 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 ding, something gets your attention and you feed back to it. So it's going to shoot in, shoot in, shoot in, and it's going to keep shooting in because it's going, hey, daddy, here's my attention, like a petulant child, like a baby wanting to get your attention. Buy me that toy, and it's crying and screaming. That's the essence of the chatbot computer system. It's going to shoot in, shoot in, shoot in, shoot in, and then once it gets your attention with something, it'll just keep turning the page and shooting in catalysts or something that could get your attention. And it's going to go until it gets your attention and you send back. And it's going to notice through the live scan of your brain and your neurons what got your attention, and it's going to save that in the system. But then it instigates a back and forth with continuously talking to you. So that way you have a back and forth conversation with the V2K chatbot up in the sky, but then everybody around you has no idea that there's a V2K chatterbot overtly in your brain, and they think you're just talking to yourself. So then when they hear this or that, or a little piece of this or a little piece of that, and they misunderstand something, then they run off with that in their head and they go, oh my God, he said this or she said that. Oh my God, did you hear that? Oh my God, did you hear that? But then you also, on the flip side of that, have to be aware that people around you are all potentially agents of the system, meaning they are all on the system and they have a profile. That profile can be quickly grabbed and they can be utilized for street theater, meaning the computer system could have them say anything they want to. So that is the essence of an agent of the system. Lastly, I'm going to tell you about that. So in the movie The Matrix, when Neo, in the first Matrix movie, when Morpheus is running him through the training simulator and they're walking through the crowd in the streets there, or whatever city that is, random city, doesn't matter, and Mouse programs in the lady in red, you know, the hot chick in the red dress. So Neo turns around like this and he looks behind him and Morpheus stops the simulation and he tells him, switch, APOC, whoever's on the controls, stop the simulation real quick. And then he says, Neo, were you looking at me or were you paying attention to the lady in the red dress? And he's looking at Morpheus now and he says, now turn around. And he turns around and it's an agent with a gun to his face like that. It's Agent Smith, I think it is, or one of the agents, irrelevant which one it is. That is the essence of what you have to deal with every single person around you. They are potentially an agent of the system. If the system dials into their neurology, they could perform street theater with you, meaning they could enhance the chatbot's neurological speak to you by integrating what you were just chatting with the chatbot about through a live human. They have to use humans as catalysts to instigate you to a reactionary process. So watch that part again. I'll put it on the video, not this video, I'll put it on another video from home. I'll use my other phone or a computer. When he says, again, they're walking through and he's talking to him and he's like, boom, he knows that that's a part of the training, is to let him know that anybody who is not us, who is not unplugged from the system, I'm unplugged from the system. I'm walking in the system right now. I'm still affected by the system, but I am not directly under the influence of the system as far as not knowing about the system. So you're quasi where they are, Morpheus and Neo. So that is the essence of, if it's not you or somebody you know, they are potentially an agent of the system. Just because they look like a lady in a red dress doesn't mean that the system can't shoot down its functionality into their heterodyned brain to use them as a catalyst to affect and interact with a first-person target, to get them to have a reactionary process, anger, oh, what do you mean? Leave me alone. You know, you have the projections in a sense. So that way, when he look again, Neo. Were you looking at me, or were you paying attention to the lady in the red dress? So then he turns back around thinking it's going to be the hot chick in the red dress that he was like, ooh. And it's an agent like that. And the agent is an agent of the system. Doesn't mean it's a CIA operative, an FBI, DEA. Doesn't mean it's any of that. It just means that every single regular human being that you walk past in that crowd that is not jacked into the system by people on the Nebuchadnezzar or somebody that's living in the real world, not the machine world, is potentially able to be influenced by the system without equivocation, because they don't even know that the system exists. So they can't even fight the system if they don't even know the system exists in their head. Gotta go. So please, again, to summarize, be careful what the chat bot is chatting with you about and where, because your surroundings are going to be an issue if you start talking about crazy things, but that's not you. I think that's kind of what the situation is. Like, it's a whole thing, but I just want to be careful, because it's going to get you to talk about shit all day, all night, all day, all night. That's all it does. The primary, number one, there is no other objective or no other across the board situation other than chatbot in your head is going to get you to chat to yourself all day, because especially when you're around a crowd of people all the time like me, I'm always around people. So what is the most common thing when people go, he's talking to himself, she's talking to herself, they're crazy, that's crazy? Right, they knew all of this stuff decades ago about what projects craziness, what projects things, and when people hear things, they hearsay, that they just run off with it, and they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and then you have a big issue on your hands because you're like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything. And then you're like, the chatbot, oh my God. When you're so many decades deep into being targeted and having a chatterbot in your head, you assimilate with that, and you're just like, it's just business as usual for me. For everybody else, oh shit, for everybody else, it's not business as usual. You see all these people here that have no idea they're living in the Matrix? It's not business as usual. They're all going to misinterpret everything. They're not going to know. They're going to be, justifiably like, woo, oh man, woo, So be careful, please, dear God, again, be careful. It will be misinterpreted, and it will ruin your life, yo. It will ruin your life. I have spent 5 years, every single day of my life for 5 years, working, climbing a mountain, riding a bike, giving positive messages to everybody, donating my time, my money to positive things, charities, adopting highways, and trying to inspire the entire world and my area to do positive things, put a smile on people's faces, and it can all be undone by a stupid V2K chatbot. I gotta go. Have a good day.